So boxes through a tunnel. Let's read the problem carefully. You are transporting some boxes through a tunnel where each box is a parallel pipe and is characterized by its length, width, and height. The height of the tunnel, 41 feet, and the width can be assumed to be infinite. A box can be carried through the tunnel only if its height is strictly less than the tunnel's height. Find the volume of each box that can be successfully transported to the other end of the tunnel. Note that the boxes cannot be rotated, right? So that's the problem. You have some boxes, you are taking them through a tunnel, and the height of these boxes must be less than 41 feet in order for them to go through the tunnel. And we are expected to return the volume of the boxes which have a height less than 41 feet. The first line contains a single integer n denoting the number of boxes, followed by three integers on each line separated by single spaces, which represent the length, width, and height of that box or of the ith box. So that's the input format, and then the output format is the volume in a separate line of each box which has a height less than 41 feet. So that's the whole idea. And in the implementation, we're expected to do three things. We're expected to define the box structure. We're expected to define the formula function for calculating the volume of the box and a formula for determining if the box has a height less than the maximum height. So first of all, in defining the structure, we know that this will have three attributes, three properties, which are the length, the width, and the height. So these three attributes will be all integers. In order to define them, we just have to create, it's like creating three variables. So creating the length, creating the width, and creating the height. Now you can do it this way, which is good, but I'll prefer to do all this on one line, right? So you can have the width and you can have the height. See, that avoids the repetition of writing int, int, int. Okay, that saves you space and that makes your code simpler and easily readable. Then now we go to defining the volume. So now in defining the volume, the getVolume function takes in an argument, which is a box. And we know that a box has three properties. Those are the length, width, and height. And to calculate the volume of a parallel pipe, you just multiply these three values. So we can do this by calculating the volume, right? We can decide to calculate the volume separately. Say the volume is equal to b dot length, right, times b dot width times b dot height. Okay, and then we just return the volume. That's it, and then we are good to go. Some individuals might decide to do this on one line where you just return this, which will also work. So you just return length times width times height, and that will give you the same answer. But I prefer to do it like this because it makes it more understandable for me. But you can decide to go by that approach. It will give you the same answer. Then we come here, which is saying that we should determine whether the box has a height less than the maximum height, which is 41 feet. Now they are using the variable max height here, and we need to know what max height is before we proceed and whether it's defined or not. So when you scroll to the top here in the preprocessor commands, you notice that there's this hash define max height of 41. So meaning that wherever we see max height, it will be replaced with 41. So in that case, we can proceed with this code where we check whether the height, okay, is less than the max height. If that's the case, what do? We return 1. If that's not the case, we return 0. And that is it. That's all you have to do. Once you define these three, we are good to go. So we can run the code and it passes. And then we can submit to see if it passes all the test cases. And it does. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.